Chapter 1 to 7. 7 days before the world burns. Joe woke up gasping for air. His heart hammered violently against his ribs as sweat soaked through his shirt, his fingers clawing at his chest as if trying to pull himself back from death. The pain he expected never came. No blade, no blood, no searing agony spreading from his back. Instead, there was silence. The faint hum of an electric fan, the stale smell of instant noodles, the familiar cracked ceiling above him. Joe froze. This room. He knew this room. His eyes darted around as he pushed himself upright. The desk in the corner, the old chair with a broken leg, the window with peeling tape holding cracked glass together. Everything was exactly the same as it had been 3 years ago. Before the heat apocalypse, before cities melted, before the sky turned white hot, before trust became deadlier than monsters. Joe's breathing slowed as realization crept in like ice down his spine. I came back? He staggered to his feet, legs weak, and stumbled to the window. Outside cars still moved. People walked normally. No alarms, no screams, no bodies burned into asphalt. A normal world. 7 days. He knew the date. He would never forget it. 7 days before the sun scorched civilization into ash. Joe laughed softly, then stopped, because the memory hit him. The betrayal. Meng's smile as she stood behind him. Chen's hand tightening around the blade. The rations he had scavenged spilling onto the floor as his blood soaked the ground. 3 years of survival ended in a single moment of trust. Joe's hands clenched until his knuckles whitened. Not again, he whispered. Never again. A soft chime echoed in the air. Joe stiffened. A translucent blue screen materialized in front of him, hovering silently. System initialization complete. Infinite storage unlocked. Item duplication once per item. Joe stared. A system? He reached out hesitantly. His finger passed through the interface like touching water. A can of instant noodles on his desk vanished, then reappeared. 2 cans. Joe laughed, this time for real. Power, time, knowledge. He had everything he lacked in his previous life. And this time, he wouldn't just survive. He would prepare. Day 1. Money is power. Joe sat quietly at his desk, the system interface hovering beside him. Supplies required money. Weapons required money. Construction required money. He didn't have time for pride. In his past life, he hesitated. He tried to be moral. He tried to be careful. It got him killed. This time, Joe muttered, I take everything I can. Over the next hours, he planned calmly, methodically. Hundreds of financial apps, short-term lending platforms, digital wallets and services designed for convenience, not foresight. In 7 days, money would be meaningless. But today, it was power. Joe moved with precision, his mind sharp from future experience. He borrowed, transferred, consolidated. Numbers climbed rapidly, far beyond what his old self would have dared. He felt no guilt. The world was ending. By nightfall, his balance was more than enough. Joe leaned back, eyes closed. One resource secured. Day 2. Supplies without limits. Joe moved like a ghost through stores, supermarkets, convenience shops, wholesale warehouses. He never panicked, never rushed, just filled carts and baskets like an ordinary customer. Water, canned food, dry goods, medicine, tools. Each item disappeared into his infinite storage the moment he stepped outside. No one noticed. No alarms sounded. By evening, entire aisles had effectively vanished from the city, compressed into Joe's personal dimension. Then came the malls, clothing stores, outdoor equipment, cooling gear, protective wear. Joe walked until his legs ached, but his expression never changed. Not enough, he murmured. The heat apocalypse was merciless. He would need more. Day 3. Jing-Mei Zhou didn't notice when exhaustion finally caught him. He stumbled slightly on the sidewalk, vision unfocused, thoughts drifting dangerously. That was when a hand grabbed his arm. "Hey, are you okay?" Zhou blinked. The girl standing in front of him was beautiful in a quiet way. Long hair tied loosely, eyes clear and steady. No heavy makeup, no forced smile. Her presence felt real. I'm fine," Zhou said automatically. She frowned. "You don't look fine. You've been walking in circles for 10 minutes. He paused. That wasn't possible. Then he realized his mind had drifted into future memories. "I'm Jing-Mei," she said gently. "Do you need directions or something?" Jing. The name hit him like a shockwave. He stared. In his past life, Jing-Mei had died early, collapsed from heat exhaustion while guiding strangers to shelter. He remembered her. Zhou straightened slowly. "Yeah," he said. "I could use help." She pointed him toward a shaded cafe and insisted he sit. They talked. Nothing heavy, nothing suspicious. For the first time since his rebirth, Zhou felt something unfamiliar. Normalcy. Before they parted, Zhou hesitated, then smiled faintly. "Can I get your number?" Jing-Mei blinked, then smiled back. "Sure." As she walked away, Zhou stared at his phone. This time, he thought, you live. Day 4, a moment of humanity. They went on a simple date. Nothing extravagant. Cold drinks, light conversation, quiet laughter. Jing-Mei talked about her work, her worries, the strange heat waves she'd noticed lately. Zhou listened, really listened. For a moment, the apocalypse didn't exist. But when she smiled at him, Zhou felt the weight of responsibility settle deeper. He couldn't save everyone, but he could save her. Day 5, the fortress. Zhou chose the location carefully. Isolated, structurally sound, easy to seal. He didn't build recklessly. He reinforced. Steel, layered materials, shock-absorbing structures. Nothing flashy, nothing obvious. Inside, cooling systems hummed softly. Air conditioners reinforced and protected, designed to keep the heat out no matter how intense it became. Zhou didn't think of it as a house. It was a sanctuary, a tomb for the outside world. Day 6. Stockpiling. The future. Zhou ordered food. Not dozens, not hundreds, thousands. Hot meals, cold meals, emergency rations, comfort foods. Every delivery vanished into storage the moment it arrived. 10,000 meals, more than he'd ever eaten in his previous life. Equipment followed, clothes, protective gear, tools, weapons, not for aggression, but survival. Zhou organized everything meticulously. When he was done, he sat alone in the silent fortress and smiled. Day 7. Before the fire. Zhou stood at the window as the sun dipped low. Tomorrow the world would burn. Meng would betray someone else. Chen would reveal his true nature. Cities would collapse. But not him, not anymore. Zhou checked his phone. A message from Jing-Mei. "It's really hot lately. Weird, right?" Zhou typed back calmly. "Stay inside tomorrow. Trust me." He placed the phone down. The system interface shimmered beside him. Infinite storage. Unlimited preparation. A second life. Zhou closed his eyes. "This time," he whispered, "I win." Chapter 8. 0000. The First Degree. The heat did not arrive suddenly. It crept in. Zhou felt it before he saw it. Inside the fortress, the air conditioners hummed steadily, maintaining a cool, controlled temperature. Digital thermometers glowed softly on reinforced walls. Everything was stable. Outside, the world held its breath. Zhou stood in front of the window, watching the sky as dawn approached. There were no clouds, not even haze, just a pale bleached blue that looked wrong. Too clean, too sharp. He checked the time. 5:47 a.m. 7 minutes. In his previous life, he had been asleep. This time, he was ready. The system interface floated beside him, transparent and calm. No warnings, no countdowns, just silence. Then, the sun rose, and the temperature spiked. It wasn't gradual. It jumped, like reality itself had been pushed off a cliff. The air shimmered violently as if space were melting. Asphalt on distant roads darkened, softened, and began to warp. Car alarms screamed. People poured out of buildings in confusion. Joe watched without blinking. "This is it," he whispered. The heat apocalypse had begun.